Hello and welcome to another video. Today we finish up the fast attack choices, and I just wanted to say, if you'd like to join our Discord server, this is where you can talk heresy with many others. Okay, so now, the fast attack choices part 4, and the last one. We are talking about the Storm Eagle first, so the Storm Eagle gunship comes for. The Storm Eagle gunship is 210 points base, and it's a mix between a Storm Raven from 40k and the Spartan assault tank. Why is it so? It's an assault vehicle that holds 20 Space Marines, or 10 Terminators, or Assault Marines even, and it's the second best melee transport for an army out there. So, the best being the Spartan. So the Storm Eagle is not only an amazing transport, it also comes with huge amounts of firepower. It comes with wing-mounted Tempest rockets free, which I find to be very bad because they are only strength 6, AP4 one-shot Sunder, and all the Hellstrike missiles, which cost you 20 points, and they are strength 8 AP2 one-shot Sunder. I don't like that because it's one shot. If you miss, the 20 or 10 points go down the drain. So nah, not a big fan of this really. So you shouldn't take that. But which is very good, you can have two twin-linked wing-mounted las cannons for 40 points. A good thing, for example, is you can fire them multiple times. Yes, that's a thing now. Firing weapons multiple times is good. And it's also like the strongest weapon. It's strength 9, AP2, twin-linked. You are hitting ground targets on 2s. It's very strong. I have my Storm Eagle with las cannons. I think that's like a good thing. Then you can then you give the hull mount, so the mount in front of the plane. It comes with a heavy bolter, which is free, twin-linked. A missile launcher for 5 points, or a twin-linked multi-melter for 15 points. So I don't like the missile launcher. I don't know why it's not a Cyclone missile launcher, to be honest. Because it's just one shot, is strength 8 AP2, AP3, or a small template. On a vehicle, that's not the greatest thing, I feel like, even though it's just 5 points. Maybe I would take it if it's free, but for 5 points, for making me to pay for something like that, it's not the best. I usually go for the twin-linked multi-melter for 15 points. And the reason being is the twin-linked multi-melter will punish any vehicle that has not gotten any armored ceramide and you are in range. Also, it's like twin-linked, and you hit on, and if you are not landed, which you need to do basically. By the way, you need to go into hover mode to disembark your troops. Then you are hitting them on 2s, which is also pretty nice. On top, it has a vengeance launcher. It always comes with that. So the vengeance launcher has two big templates, two large templates. Of strength 5 AP4, which is pretty strong. And you have Machine Spirit on the Storm Eagle, so you fire all your anti-tank weapons into one target. And then you place the two large templates somewhere else, which I find to be very nice. So you blast a tank or a dreadnought that's in front of the squad you want to disembark next turn, and then you just drop two large templates on a squad hiding somewhere, and with it being two large blasts, strength 5, it will cause casualties of wounds to anything, I guess. So it's a good weapon. So overall, the Storm Eagle is a very nice choice. If you don't want to be that the 12 millionth World Eaters player that brings 2 Spartans and 40 assault and 40 inductee with Galahad Surleg, you maybe want to get a Storm Eagle and bring your Berserkers to the battlefield that way. Then you have the Tarantula Sentry Gun Battery for 35 points, and you can give it different weapons. I will not talk a lot about it because it's trash. It has BS2, so doesn't hit anything anyway. And any role it can fill with the weapons it has can be done by anything else. Can be done by other units that are dedicated to it. For example, if you take the Hyperios anti-air missiles, why don't you just go for... I guess, I know it's cheap, right? But if a unit is cheap and can't accomplish what it's supposed to do, then it's not really a point for it being cheap, right? So, I can have a Tarantula for 35 points with a twin-linked heavy bolter sitting somewhere on the map, or multiple, and then they don't really accomplish anything because they don't hit anything. So I rather get a Javelin Landspeeder, which is not that much more expensive, 1 or 2. I can make it use anti-infantry weapons most of the time and destroy infantry, or I can give it anti-tank weapons and make it destroy tanks. Better than the Tarantula Sentry Gun, or multiple Tarantula Sentry Guns. So, no, I don't like it. If you like them, if you like the models, bring them, it's fine, but do not expect them to be the bulwark of your defense and destroying every tanks or flyers. They don't do that generally. So yeah, no fan of it. Then we talk about the Terex Assault Drill. It's 80 points base, which is pretty nice. It's a fast attack choice. It's also pretty new. It's basically a drop pod that comes out of the ground. It cannot transport anything that's non-bulky, so just normal infantry-sized models. So I would say that it is a Legion drop pod coming out the ground in the fast attack slot. When the assault drill emerges, it places a 5-inch template and damages units that are below the template. If the center of the template is somewhere on a tank, for example, and it can't be moved, and the assault drill has to be moved, then it suffers a strength 10 AP nothing hit, which is pretty strong. A strength 10 hit can result in most vehicles, will result in most vehicles to be penned or glanced, because it hits the side armor. And if it's units that are, if it's infantry units that are hit by it, infantry or anything else, they get strength 6 AP4 hits. It's nice. I mean, imagine you are sitting somewhere, and you pop off this thing, and it just places gives a melee gives a squad 6 or 7 strength 6 wounds. Okay, maybe not 6, but 5 or 4. Could cause casualties, not that bad. If it's Solar Auxilia, they will just die to it. It's instant death. It comes with 2 combi bolters, and you can exchange them for flamers or Volkite chargers for 10 points. You can do it. I mean, Volkite chargers are a good weapon, heavy flamers also, especially when you have a squad sitting inside there and you just want to flame something away. You just want to flame away and clear the Well, it's not the landing zone, I would say the emerging zone. So it's alright. I would not bother really upgrading it with anything but the auxiliary drive. And I would also advise you to use it as a means to deliver something to a close, to deliver something that has close range firepower. So, for example, Malta squads, Flamer squads, Heavy Flamer squads, something like that. And you know why? Because they usually don't get that close. You can also deploy melee squads in it, but it doesn't have the assault vehicle rule, which doesn't matter. It comes in from deep strike, so you can't charge turn one anyway. Except you have different different rules, but then again, then you have the rules. So I mean, for the 12, maybe you put in 10 tactical marines for world eaters, which I would think is pretty cool, an apothecary and a champion maybe, or something. But then there are just sitting ducks for the first turn. So for the Enrillers Dreadclaw and the Charybdis, these things are flyers. So they can fly and jink if they like. So they increase their survivability a little bit. And this thing is just sitting there. So if you're sitting there on the ground with your assault drill, which has 12, 12, 10, it can be destroyed pretty easy. So it's not the same. It's also it's cheaper than the mentioned two things, but I don't know. Maybe just deliver a Melter squad or a plasma squad or whatever into the enemy lines, cause havoc, and then mission accomplished. Then the last thing we talk about today is the Xiphon Interceptor. The Xiphon Interceptor is the best anti-air-to-air combat choice for the legions, which means that it's the best flyer that's destroying flyers, in my honest opinion. And because it has two twin-linked las cannons and a Xiphon rotary missile launcher, it is an agile flyer, so it gets a better jinx save. So it gets a 3-up jinx, which is very strong. It's basically a 3-up. It's a 3-up invul save for flyers, because I don't know if there are any weapons that have Skyfire and ignore cover. And because of its weapon, the Xiphon rotary launcher being like strength 8 AP2 or the two twin-linked las cannons, it's also no slouch against vehicles either. It can pop tanks very nicely, because it also has the cluster warhead on its Xiphon missile launcher, which is pretty nice. It's an awesome weapon because it's like the Arcus launcher, so you can roll D3 times on the vehicle penetration table if you penetrate a vehicle and take the highest result. So that's pretty nice. Rolling, for example, because the rotary launcher has 2 shots, rolling 6 times on the vehicle penetration table, you could roll 6 times, would mean you have the highest chance to destroy a vehicle outright, which is pretty nice. It's not as good as the Primaris Lightning Strike Fighter, but it's a very nice model, and I have one myself. I can only recommend it. But like any flyer units, if there's dedicated anti-air platforms like the Deredeo, it will get destroyed because it has very little. It has very little armor, because it's a flyer, obviously. So maybe make sure to clear the battlefield out of things that can hurt it actually before you bring it on. That's been it with the video today. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. We see us in the next one. Goodbye.